So let's start the session. So Sharat, thanks, and over to you.
Thank you so much, Xavier. And like Xavier said, I mean, the last session for the cloud technology, pretty much a power-packed 4 days that we've had. ALM Summit is always a wonderful experience. I mean, we get to meet people because of the unfortunate circumstances. Obviously, we are meeting over a remote connection, but it doesn't deter our spirits. I mean, we're pretty much heavily spirited, and I'm sure each of us would want to celebrate at the end of such a nice and wonderful experience. Now, today we have the session, which is specifically targeted at partners. We are really looking at working closely with partners. In fact, if you have attended the last year's session in Heidelberg, then you would have seen that workshop, which we did, pretty much a design thinking kind of workshop, which we did in about a couple of hours, where we had exciting information gathered based on whatever we wanted to gather from partners, especially. And it was pretty exciting. So I'm Sharat. I'm part of the product management organization, specifically focused on the partner enablement use case. I have my colleague, Michelle Buser, who's again the product owner for partner enablement. I'll hand it over to you, Michelle, as I hand over in the middle of the session. So we will be taking you through what we are currently working on, what we have listened to you, and what we have captured, and then what we have started a journey on. And feel free to connect with us, because the journey is yet to begin in many, many aspects, especially when it comes to the partner use cases. We are really formulating that. So feel free to get in touch with us. Our email IDs will be shared towards the end of the session. And that's the community is the best way to really collaborate and work together. I'm sure you must have seen this slide many, many times. I will have to state it, a standard disclaimer, that we may be speaking about futuristic capabilities, forward-looking statements. In fact, in this session, we are pretty much speaking about forward-looking statements, some of which are taking shape already. You will see an example of that when we do a live demo. So keep that in mind, that this could change based on, obviously, technology stack change, product changes, portfolio changes, or any other change which could potentially come in our way. And then, obviously, it is the standard disclaimer that SAP has. We obviously are promoting the ALM Summit. We are pretty much at the end of it, but you can obviously leverage the social media to collaborate and communicate. So feel free to spread the message. SAP Cloud ALM is live now. It's pretty much available with a lot of customers. We've had some exciting stories with partners as well. So feel free to spread that message. The word needs to spread, and I'm sure it will get the same reception like other ALM solutions from SAP. So let's get into the overview of SAP Cloud ALM. I wouldn't spend too much time on the overview because I'm sure you must have seen n number of sessions, including keynotes, where you would have seen all the details of what SAP Cloud ALM is and then what it brings and where it's heading. We are going to focus primarily around the partner use cases. So when it comes to SAP Cloud ALM, you're all aware it is a solution for the customer. The customer gets an entitlement of SAP Cloud ALM, and obviously it's available for immediate consumption. Like you would have heard, it hardly takes about 15 minutes the moment you request for a provisioning, and you get access to the application. So that way, pretty much a new age solution, a SaaS offering from SAP. When it comes to partners, then obviously we would want to see how partners can leverage SAP Cloud ALM and obviously make it a success for whichever customer they're working with. So you can obviously request your customer to onboard a partner resource onto the customer's SAP Cloud ALM and then help them in implementation as well as in operation. Obviously, that's the starting point, right? So you take them through the ALM journey, becoming that end-to-end ALM coach, if I can call it that, and then take them through both implementation and operations. And that's how the tool is designed. What we obviously want to help you with is delivering better and running operations better. So this means that we would want to see how the tooling could help you in ensuring quality, timely delivery, and so on and so forth. So we are really looking at bringing in metrics which are very, very focused on partners, in fact, So we are really working on those kind of concepts, essentially bringing in a nice mechanism to even get guidance and recommendation. Yeah? Both from an implementation standpoint, and then we'll also look at what could be there from an operational standpoint. This is while you're using the Customers Cloud ALM, and that's the usage, right? What you could also look at is extensions and integrations of the ALM capabilities. So this would mean that you can then build extensions on top of SAP Cloud ALM. You could also look at integrations, like Mark mentioned in his keynote yesterday for the cloud technology, where you are looking at having adapters potentially to third-party solutions or proprietary solutions that you may have as a partner, as a central solution or whatever that is. Then you may want the Customers Cloud ALM to potentially connect or integrate with a solution that you may have. Then you may want to bring in those integration adapters, or potentially you may want to look at how the APIs can be leveraged from the customer's solution, and then you can consume whatever is the data that you would want to really help the customer in that story. Right? So there are multiple such use cases that you could see in the future, and that's exactly where we are also working on. And we will see how we can collaborate and work and look at more and more use cases as we go forward. I'm not going to spend too much of time here on this slide. I'm sure this you must have seen a lot, but essentially the key point on this slide is the API hub. What we would see is that there would be definitely a capability that SAP Cloud ALM provides when it comes to end-to-end implementation and operations. But at the same time, there would be these niche integrations that you would need with third-party solutions. Classic examples being document management, test automation. You've already heard about the Tricentis OEM. That way, you would soon hear about a SaaS offering from Tricentis, which will then integrate with an SAP Cloud ALM solution. At the same time, you could potentially look in the future for integration into ITSM, service desk kind of solutions. You could obviously look at task management and deployment management scenarios. So there are multiple best of breed solutions that you potentially could integrate to and then leverage the capabilities in a very seamless manner. At the end of the day, the key message is the ALM orchestrating engine is going to be Cloud ALM. And then you sort of integrate and have your touch points both with internal SAP tools as well as external tools, non-SAP, and then have that overall play. Now, let's look at the partner integration opportunities. So this slide, I'm sure if you have attended my workshop last year, you would have seen this. So we had sort of conceptualized this at that point in time. And now you see them in multiple decks as well. So here, you would have the Cloud ALM solution orchestrating through the various capabilities. So if you're looking at this particular slide, you're really looking at the implementation lifecycle and the implementation area. And then you can see that there could be multiple touch points between the various solutions that are there. So typically what we have seen is, and this is based on a lot of interaction that we've had with partners through the last 1.5 years. And what we've seen is they have their own methodology. You try to bring in own content, accelerators that you would have built over many years, essentially. And then you would want to leverage them as you get into projects where you would want to jumpstart your overall implementation. At the same time, you're also looking at extending these solutions. So that's, again, another capability that you really want to leverage. Third-party test tools. Obviously, we have started the journey with Tricentis. We are working very closely with the likes of Worksoft. So you would see that there'll be test automation solutions to which Cloud ALM will have its integration. So you can leverage them. Third-party deployment tools. Here, I mean, this is an interesting play, especially when you're talking about CI/CD pipelines, DevOps scenarios, Agile and Scrum technologies that are being used. And it's quite heterogeneous if you really look at the landscape when you're really looking at your customer ecosystem. And in such a scenario, Cloud ALM can be that engine which manages the end-to-end, but wherever you need those touch points, then you can leverage them through the third-party deployment. And especially in partner scenarios, what I have noticed is that they typically build an entire CI/CD ecosystem, and then they would want to plug in tools at various stages, depending on the technology that they're deploying at the customer side. And we have seen this with multiple customers. So this is definitely going to be a big use case. And last but not the least, analytics and reporting. And Xavier here is the product owner for that space. So the overall reporting and analytics will be such a big, crucial piece, even when it comes to partners. And they may want to consume the data from Cloud ALM through the APIs, and then create a dashboarding capability, potentially using their own solution, potentially SAP Analytical Cloud. So you could figure out how you can get that, and then the possibilities are quite humongous, right? Especially when you have multiple deliveries, multiple projects running across customers, and so on and so forth. So as a partner in your own ecosystem, you could possibly think about these kind of leverages that you can use, especially with the APIs that you'll get in the future. So this slide, again, you would have seen a lot, so I wouldn't spend any time on this. So these are the various examples that are there. But what I would want to spend time on is that what are we working on right now? So from a partner enablement use case perspective, the current focus is primarily around these three aspects. We are talking about content. And when I say content, we're talking about content in the form of task content. So currently we're leveraging the SAP Activate methodology. You will soon see how, in fact, the nice demo that Michelle has is especially around task import, especially manual task import, which is a good starting point to see how partners can bring in their own manual task into over and above the Activate methodology. Yeah. We also see that partners would like to leverage methodology and best practices as well. So when it comes to best practices in the form of process content or potentially their own methodology, these are things that we are looking at. We have seen certain partner scenarios where they are actually having their own business processes on top of SAP's best practices. Especially they have tried to bridge the white spaces that potentially the standard product has with their own extensions and end-to-end processes, and they would like to bring that in. So that becomes a jumpstart. That's again something that we are thinking about and seeing how we can bring this. We are in fact prototyping, planning to prototype this with some of our partners through SEF. SEF stands for Support, Collaboration, and Framework. It's a new pilot that we're getting into. It's an agreement with a partner which we are getting into in the support space. And then we are trying to bring in Cloud ALM also in this space. So if you're interested, just let us know. Let Michelle and me know. And we are more than happy to have you as part of the SEF program. From a reporting and analytics perspective, we are obviously looking at mechanism to measure projects, to look at how successful you are leveraging the various metrics, then looking at reports that are there, especially from a guidance and recommendation standpoint, based on potentially your own. So you could potentially think that there could be guidance and recommendation based on all your past history. I mean, potentially you may want to leverage that as a learning, right? So then those are things that you could potentially think about. Again, this is something that we would like to see how we can prototype. Daily reporting, and this is again something that we would want to bring into standard Cloud ALM, which a customer would get. That means that there is a daily report that will be there, which will sort of show you where you are on multiple parameters, cutting across the length and breadth of the implementation area. So you get multiple reports there. Then last but not the least, the ability to leverage the APIs and then see how we can bring this. Even for some of the other things, like for example, the embedded analytics will be there within the tool, but if at all you would want to consume as a partner, then you have to look at the APIs. Yeah, that's the way to go. So we would obviously want to work with key partners and prototype them and see how these APIs can be leveraged in the future. Again, these are all planned for next year, starting next year. Some of them will be kickstarted immediately. The one that you see is the manual task input. It's already there. Yeah. Based on the workshop last year, what we gathered was that we had key needs, and that's exactly why I had the previous slide where we showed you what we are working on. But this is what we gathered while we did our workshop last year. We wanted to understand what you wanted as content, methodology, add-ons. This could be processes, configurations, test assets, and potentially accelerators. These are essentially content, both in form of task and best practices as processes. On top of that, you want to have reporting and analytical capabilities. If you want to have cross-customer reporting, then API are the only way, because primarily the Cloud ALM solution is a customer solution. You have to figure out how you can consume those APIs. And last but not the least, in the future, the hope is to get towards an intelligent project management capability, leveraging AI and ML, and potentially the data lake, and see what could be done, right? Because this is an amazing use case that customers, partners, and SAP can really leverage, because the host of information that will be there, which are whitelisted data, should definitely be leveraged for the overall good of project management and the betterment of implementation of cloud solutions through SAP Cloud ALM. Having said this, let me hand it over to Michelle, for your session.
Perfect, thanks. Hi, my name is Michael Buse. I'm a product specialist in the product management team for SAP Cloud ALM for implementation. And one of my key topics is to bring features and functions for implementation partners into SAP Cloud ALM. I work very close together with Sharat on this topic, as he already mentioned, and we will start soon some POCs with partners. So if you're interested in it, please contact us after the session. And today I want to talk about two topics. The first one is the success metrics, and the second one then the import of partner content. And afterwards, we'll also have a poll. And yeah, we are really interested in your feedback, in your experiences. So I would kindly ask you to participate in this. But let's start with the first topic, which you can already see on the slide, the success metrics. So with the success metrics, we want to give partners the opportunity to track their performance within their implementation projects. So with the help of functions like analytics and reporting, partners should get detailed insights into their own, let's say, into their whole project landscape, but also into every single project individually. So what do we want from you today? We want from you to deliver best implementation projects to our common customers as always. But now with the usage of SAP Cloud ALM. And by using Cloud ALM, we can help you with these functionalities to learn more about your project delivery performance. So here are some functionalities we are thinking about at the moment in the area of this of the success metrics. First one, what we are thinking about is an overview dashboard for whole project landscape, where you have real-time analytics behind, which are showing you the most relevant KPIs for your entire project landscape. So you get full transparency about it. Think about if you're running multiple cloud projects in parallel in SAP Cloud ALM, and you want to understand this better. So you get shown, for example, your actual workload, your projects at risk, and everything like how you can improve your resource planning by using this reporting functionalities. Second area we are thinking about is the single project transparency, so that you get detailed insights about every single project, like in which phase is the project at the moment, what are the next milestones, what are the next queue gates. So we want to give you there the ability to identify, for example, very successful projects, that you understand why those projects are so successful, and that you can use this knowledge to improve your next or your projects in the future. But also we want to give you the possibility to identify projects at risk, let's say as early as possible, because it's our common goal to avoid any customer escalation in an implementation project. So for example, with the single project transparency, the management from a partner gets like really easy an overview about a project, and what's the status about it. And this can be also really helpful in discussions with the management of the customers. But also think about when a customer comes to you and is unhappy for some reason, and you can show him with the proof of those KPIs you have about the project that you are on track and you fulfill what you agreed on with the customer. Sorry. The next area we are thinking about is about guidance and recommendations. So the idea is that Calm, that the system gives you guidance for next projects, for next project steps. So for every role in the project, there could be something like an avatar which helps the role or the consultant with their work there. and with the usage of historical data from from projects you have done with SAP Cloud ALM, but also with historical data from SAP, like what worked in other projects. Well, we want to create something like a recommendation which comes directly from the system to you. So these are some ideas we are thinking about. So easiest example would be the avatar recommends to the project lead, hey, Mr. or Mrs. Project Lead, please postpone your go live because of the next SAP upgrade, which will be too soon to your set go live. Or another example could be that a consultant is new to the team and gets the role of a data migration expert. And this special avatar for data migration guides him through his next tasks he has to do. But also it gives him an overview what happened already in the area of data migration in the project so far. So these are just some ideas we are thinking about. Another area we are thinking about is about recognition. So if you want to share your results with us, we would love to recognize your project performance. So for example, we are thinking about a badge for best performing implementations with SAP Cloud ALM. So next to the badge, which you could get, the benefits would be maybe access to special expert from Calm or maybe from other SAP solutions. Or we could do something like a success story together, like a video or a promotion at an SAP event like the ALM Summit. But also, we could co-innovate in special topics which are very interesting for you. So, and why do we think this can help you win new projects? Yeah, we think if you use those KPIs, you can convince also net new customers of your strength in those projects. So you can show your individual success with those reportings, and use that to win new projects with new customers. Also think about the SAP badge, which can also show you're one of the best in class for those special implementations. So if you're interested in this topic, we really would like to collaborate with you together. So please contact us after the session. So let's jump to the next topic, the partner content import. Sorry. So we know there are partners who have already own methodology or own business process content for their cloud implementations. And they should have the possibility to upload this into Calm and into a customer's tenant to follow their own methodology then in the implementation of the project. So when I talk here about SAP methodology, I mean the SAP Activate methodology. And when I'm talking about business processes, I mean the official SAP best practices. So as today, most of the projects, most of the cloud projects of SAP are already done by SAP partners. And they are those, as mentioned, those partners who have their own methodology or own business process. Others have, for example, extensions of the Activate methodology or extensions of the best practices, really depending on the different industries, different needs, or special customer needs, let's say. And we also think that in the future, especially in the cloud market, which is growing really fast, partners will still need to differentiate each other via this methodology and via those best practice extensions. So we know it's everything about scaling in the cloud, but we still think there is a need from customers for those extensions or those, let's say, special content for different industries, different customer needs. So our target is to bring you, to bring this functionality to SAP Cloud ALM. And here we are thinking about, different things about the methodology, for example. So we have already the function of import of manual tasks, which is already available, and which I will show you in the live demo in a second. So there the use case is you can export an Excel template change the content in the Excel, and then import the Excel back to the tenant and assign it then to a consultant. So this is about the Activate roadmap, tasks of the Activate roadmap, and how you can extend them with your manual tasks. And you can put in there links to own accelerators, like links to videos or documents, to applications, or also links to other systems. In the area of methodology, we are also thinking about that you get the possibility to directly change tasks directly in Calm. So you can create the tasks in Calm, and you can also extend the whole methodology in Calm. And as you have created all of that in Calm, then you can download it and use it for other projects with other customers. And last there is we're thinking about, let's say, a free template where you can download a template from Calm, and there you can then put your methodology in, because you maybe have, for example, a totally different structure than the Activate methodology. So then you have can have, for example, multiple different phases, other work streams. So there should be a possibility where it's where it's really free about this methodology. And that's something what we want to figure out during those POCs, those prototyping with the partner inside of this support collaboration framework. So the second big area then are the business processes. And there we are thinking about that you can directly in Calm create processes, extend processes from SAP which are already existing, but also that you can maintaining it there. And this is the same like for the methodology. So if you have to update your content, you should have the possibility to do that directly in Calm. And if you then, for example, extend the best practices from SAP in Calm, you should have the possibility to download it then and to use it then for other projects as well. We are also thinking here about something like a free template which you can download, then put your business process content in, and then bring this to the different customer tenants where you have the projects at. The third opportunity is then about APIs and APIs to other tools from SAP or third-party tools, and then that you have your business processes created in another tool, and then can bring this directly to Calm. And how can this help you win new projects? We think that if you are flexible with your implementation projects in Calm, this can be a real benefit. Like when a customer wants you to use the SAP methodology and you want to use it, then you should have the possibility to use it with Cloud ALM. But also, if a customer and you want to use extensions of SAP content, then you should have the possibility in SAP Cloud ALM. And also, if you use your totally own methodology and totally own business processes, you should have the possibility to use this in Calm. And that's why we want to try to make this for you as flexible as possible. And also, we think, like, if you're having this content, it shows a lot of experience, and also cloud customers next to on-prem customers will appreciate that. Yeah, and having said that, let's jump to the next slide and then directly into the live demo. So I want to show now a new functionality which is already available in Calm. So I will use the internal demo tenant, but you can also try it out in our official public demo tenant, which is available through the website. And you can really start immediately. All login informations are there, and you can directly start. So for my demo, I created a little scenario where a partner has a special application for the so-called pre-data migration for the project, and he wants to provide this to the customer and to the consultant. Okay, perfect. Thanks a lot. So I will log in as Agatha, which is a power user in the system. Let's say it's the project lead. And I will now, okay, I have to try it again. 1 second. Okay, I think it works. So let's go to the task list, to the task management, because we want to create a manual task. And as you can see here, all the tasks 399. And if we go by source, we can search for the manual ones, which are 9 at the moment. And now we want to download all manual tasks as template and to change it and then upload it again to the tenant. So here we have it. I will just delete those out. And the title then is the ALM Summit EMEA 2020 import. We stay with the prepare phase. On workstream we take out. We take here because we are logged in as the project lead, so the role should be the project lead. Work. That's it. So I save it, and now going back to the tenant, and now let's try to upload it. I have it in the downloads. The system is about to create one new task, that's right. So now it's updated, so we have here the 10, and I will search for it. So I take the status is open. So, and here's the ALM Summit EMEA 2020. Did it work? Yes, it worked. So I can directly put it to done. So, but as said, I have also prepared another use case, and I will upload the file right now. I have this on my desktop. This is the one. It has 3 different tasks, and now I will create those 3 different manual tasks. It's now 403. So we will filter for it again. And the status is open. And here we have them. And as said, it's assigned to a role, a data migration expert. And it's about download a partner migration application, which is called a prep migration app. And then another task is to prepare the app, and at the end to test the app. So I will, as the project lead, now jump into the first tasks, and I want to edit this as well. So status is open, phase, explore phase is okay. Due date, I will just take November 11th, 25th. The assigned role is data migration expert. So I now assign it to the data migration expert from my team, which is Carl Consultant. We have here the work stream data management, which is white. Also the deliverable is data load preparation. I don't need a scope here at the moment. And the last thing what I want to do is to put the link here behind. And the title is App Center, because it's the link to the App Center where then Carl can download the application, save it. And also I go to the next task, but here will only assign it to Carl. And also the last one, because he's our expert there, I will assign this to Carl. Save. Okay, so I will sign out and will now sign in again, but this time as the consultant Carl. And I can go here to the overview. Now I can see there's 3 tasks which are assigned to me. So I open it and I can see download partner migration application. I still have time, but I want to do it right now. So open it. Purpose of this task is to download the app from the App Center. So I can just jump to the App Center, download the application here. And as I have downloaded it, I just set the status here. Because I have downloaded it, that's every information I have. I set this to done. So there are 2 tasks left. The first one, and the only thing, what I'm worrying about is that there is no due date yet, and I want to do this really fast. So I just put the 20th of October for the next one, that I just can remember to to finish it until this date. So this is finished. I can go back, go here and want to go to the overview again. Now I can start. 1 task is already done. 2 I have opened, which I have to do. And here is the download, which we just had. That was the live demo. Thanks a lot for your time. Sharat, back to you.
Thank you so much, Vishal. I mean, and this is just a very small use case. Just imagine if you have hundreds of manual tasks that you would want to bring in. I know we are almost at the fag end. I just have one exercise for you. So I'm sure you must have attended a lot of sessions, but this is time for you to now engage with us. So let me know when you're able to see my screen. And I want to quickly ask you all to open up your browser. So that way you can engage with us during this exercise. So if you can quickly log on to menti.com, that would be www.menti.com. I can put that in chat as well so that you can see that. So I'm just putting there. So if you can all log into www.menti.com, and you will be able to see this thing, and you can put the code 9625158. So if you can quickly do that, in the meanwhile, let me launch the application on my side as well and present it as well. Just give me a moment. Great. So I can already see 2 of you have logged in. So if others can also quickly log in into one, wonderful. I can see let me share my current screen. I think this is exciting to see it here rather than on a slide. So let me quickly do that. So I will do a reshare of my new share of my main screen. There you go. Are you able to see this? Yeah. So this is interesting. So we obviously between 1 and 10, between 10 and 20. So we have some interesting numbers coming up from all of you. So this really tells how many projects you are currently working on. And we can quickly see some of the other tractions. So feel free to log in and then go to menti.com, and the number I would reiterate, it's 9625158. So you can log in and get that. The next aspect is you have your own created methodology or best practice. So business process content. So essentially you do not have own methodology, okay, nor best practice content. So you're using SAP standard, which is good. Very good to know that. If you have extended it or if you have enhanced it, then obviously we have some questions around that as well. You use your own methodology, good to know that as well. So there is some feedback coming in around this as well. So we will, great. So do not know. So we will help you. I mean, you can always get in touch with us, and then we'll work with you to understand what is it that you do with both methodology and best practice. So it's good to see that there is a nice split that is there. So interesting aspect. We will quickly move on to the next one. So which is, you extend content for SAP Activate for best practices. That means that you have the best practices, but you also extend it, right? You're not just using the standard. So anyway, we had that response. Yes, it's pretty much in line with what we saw in the beginning for the previous one as well. So you use the standard, and some of you, the others mentioned that you sort of either create your own or you extend. So we saw that there is extend only SAP best practice processes. That's good to know. That means that you have SAP standard processes, and then you sort of extending that, and then you extend both Activate as well as best practices. That's a very nice set of mix. The next one is around, if you had to put an order of priority of the methodology for implementation, what would you alter or extend? So that's the order. So you can just drag and drop the element for each of those areas. So extend list of roles. If that is your priority, then put that as your top priority. Something else is your top priority, then put that. So automatically you will see whatever is your priority of what you would want to prioritize while you're implementing and wanting to alter or extend, then what is it that you would want to alter and extend? Content replace. So use own content in place of Activate. Yes, it's good to know. So allow saving of current project as a template. Wonderful. That means that you can sort of reuse that in your next project, and it becomes a good starting point. And then allow content upload, only mass import of tasks. Yes, we are already started with that journey. I'm sure we will improve on those capabilities, and we'll work very closely with you all for that. So great to know this as well. If you have any further comments, then we will take that. Otherwise, we will move on to the next one. The next one is, this is interesting. This is especially when it comes to metrics, measurement of an implementation project. What is it that will help you really, Is it a high-level project overview? Is it scheduling of project, KPI for single project, KPI for multiple projects across landscape, quality gates, trend analysis for a project, escalation avoiding, traceability, and then finally guidance and recommendations. So these are things that we want to bring into Cloud ALM. At the same time, we want to see how we can leverage it for partners, so especially for the task that a partner is conducting. We want to give you special kind of reports which can potentially help you in your overall journey. So we will see how this works. So we can see some trends already. So guidance and recommendation, sort of, and then we have scheduling of projects, KPIs for single projects, KPIs for multiple projects, traceability and dependency of metrics. Great. So it's nice to see the trend which is coming out. Obviously, KPI for the single project, which will obviously be made available as an embedded reporting within Cloud ALM. I'm sure you must have already seen some reports, but yes, that will keep enhancing. Wonderful. This is really nice feedback. And the next one is metrics. And if metrics are there, especially for ALM and operations, will this help you win new projects? And especially if you can give a recognition based on that. Success of projects and then getting a badge around it, So that's the overall idea. So where you can then have it as a reference, a nice badge. In fact, you should be presenting during such events like ALM Summit as a reference customer or a partner. That's the overall idea. Great. So overwhelming yes. So this is definitely something that we are again interested in working on and bringing those badging. In fact, the SCF framework is built around that, the support collaboration framework. Feel free to let us know and get close to us, and we'll work on this. What are the critical things being monitored which help in smooth operations? So this is specifically if you are also doing AMS in the cloud for your customers as a partner. So that means you're helping in their monitoring, you're potentially managing their incidents and stuff like that. and then you would want to leverage some metrics around this. So potential prevention of tickets and so on and so forth. So in case you have such a scenario, feel free to provide us some feedback here. I hope you got the context. So this is specifically when it comes to cloud operations. So I don't see any response. So I will wait just another 10 seconds and then I'll move on to I see a couple of responses. Wonderful. Mapping, validation, reliable metrics. Wonderful. Amazing. So we can see connection, proactivity. Wonderful. That's preemptive or proactive reporting so that you can prevent tickets. I mean, mapping, reliable metrics, business processes, validation, network issues that you're preventing. Yeah. So from an operations standpoint. Great. So there are more and more coming. So data volume, thresholds, wonderful. KPI thresholds, great. Nice to see. I mean, very, very happy to see this response. And then are there metrics to measure incident prevention that you're already doing? That means that you are already doing things to prevent incidents. And obviously, in the long run, you're looking at artificial intelligence, prevent tickets from happening in the first place. But yes, we have to take a journey. But again, we are hoping to see some details if you're already doing such things to prevent incidents in the first place in cloud operations. Again, I'll give it another maybe 10 seconds and then I'll move on. Yep, end user monitoring. Okay, not yet, only on-prem. Okay, yeah, agree. A lot of you are still managing the on-prem world. I think once the cloud operations, especially partners who are managing pure cloud operations, will have a lot to offer and talk about at this stage. All right, let me move on. And are there any rewards for incident prevention in your cloud operations? I'm sure there is. Typically, there is a bonus mechanism, or typically there are mechanisms to ensure that partners are preventing tickets. Currently, no. So that's one no, do not know. Okay. So there are no rewards that you get. I think there should be a badging mechanism for that, Michelle. I was thinking that we should look at even badging mechanism for that kind of thing. But yes, so rewards for incident prevention should be important because that's critical. I've seen it at least in the on-prem world. Not sure if this works in the cloud world. All right, if KPI, in case there are KPI breaches to incident conversions, and are they monitored, right? In case an incident happens, so for example, you have a threshold breach, say for example, for your whatever you're monitoring, you don't do any actions to prevent it, but then later on it becomes an incident. That's a KPI breach to incident conversion. Whereas you intervene and then solve that problem, then you sort of prevent that. So that's what you articulate, saying that I have prevented a P1 ticket, from happening and hence bringing down the system. So something like that. All right. So we've just got some feedback here, which is fair. I mean, we will, because this is still a place which we feel we need to really understand, especially how it works in the cloud world. And we will see how this works out. Yeah. So good. Thank you for that. And with that, I think the last feedback, in fact, this is the culmination of the Cloud Technology session and plus our session as well. What did you feel about this session? I'm sure you would want to collaborate with us. So Michelle and I will be definitely more than happy to engage. We are doing that already with a few partners. Feel free to reach us and we are more than happy to work together in certain prototypes. We will work through the support collaboration framework. So always very happy to engage partners. That's definitely the niche space where we want to be. So we will want to support our partners in the ALM journey as well. Wonderful. So nice feedback. Too soon for us. Informative, very interesting, great. Thank you so much for that kind feedback. So with that, I think I will only want to leave you with one information. If you're a partner and trying to get access to a Cloud ALM system, then please feel free to use the demo system that is there on the portal. But if you want to have your own system, if you can get a TND, a test and demo license from the Partner Edge, if you're a Partner Edge partner, then you also are entitled to Enterprise Support Cloud editions. And hence, you also get SAP Cloud ALM. So that's something that Mark has already highlighted in his keynote yesterday. So feel free to do that. I will quickly share my last slide, and then I think we're pretty much done for the day. The last slide is essentially, if you are wanting to contact people in the region, then feel free to contact Jeannie Zhao, Rajiv Kolapuri, David Birkenbach, and David Noack. They are your regional contacts for China, Greater China, APJ, EMEA, and America. So you feel free to contact, be in touch with us through the community. And obviously, we would want you to go ahead and attend the Open SAP course that's available. Feel free to do that. All right, so that's pretty much it. I think we can enter the next session then, if that's the case. Maybe we can close this and really thank you on behalf of SAP and the ALM team.
Thanks a lot for your time.
Thank you. Stay safe and see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.